Same house, same roof, two completely different lives, and my aunt made sure it stayed that way because she was terrified of me. She didn't treat me like a servant because she hated me. She treated me like a servant because she was afraid of what I could become. And I was 16 before I finally understood that. When I won the biggest opportunity of my life, she ripped it apart with her bare hands right in front of me. But she didn't know that I had already made a plan. And by the time she found out, it was too late to stop me. This is my story. I was 8 years old when my parents died. One moment I had a home, a mother who called my name, a father who carried me on his shoulders. The next two coffins, people kept hugging me, crouching down to my level, saying the same things over and over. Be strong, God knows best. I didn't care about any of that. I just wanted my mom. That was when my aunt stepped forward, arms wide open. She will live with me, she announced like she was giving a gift to the whole family. Everyone praised her immediately. Nobody asked me what I wanted. Nobody wondered why she volunteered so quickly. I was 8. I didn't know how to wonder that yet either, but I was about to find out. The first night at my aunt's house, I actually felt relieved. The house was beautiful, clean, full of nice things. I thought maybe it would be okay. Then I saw Amanda's room, pink walls, fairy lights, a bed so big I had never seen anything like it, and Amanda standing in the middle of all of it, staring at me like I was something that did not belong. Then my aunt opened a small door beside the kitchen. Storage room, bare floor, no bed. You sleep here. I thought she was joking. She wasn't joking. You should be grateful you even have a roof over your head. That sentence became my prison for the next 8 years. From that first week, the difference was clear. Amanda was served. I ate whatever was left. Amanda rested. I walked, and every time I opened my mouth, be grateful, Chioma, be grateful. But here is what my aunt never realized. While she was watching me, I was watching her too, and I was learning everything. Stay with me, because what I learned is what saved me. By 13, my life had a routine that never changed. Every morning before school, scrub the toilet, wash clothes by hand, mop the floor, while Amanda made TikTok videos in her air-conditioned room in the same house every single morning. One afternoon, I came first in my class, highest score. I ran home, actually ran, because for once, I thought she would be proud. Auntie, look, I came first. She looked at it for barely 2 seconds, and the expression on her face, it wasn't proud. It wasn't even neutral. It was something else entirely. Something I was too young to name. Good. Go cook rice. That was it. I stood there for a long time, holding that paper. I didn't understand yet, but I would. That same term, Amanda passed with average grades. My aunt threw her a party. Relatives came. There was music. I watched from the corridor. The girl who came first had no party. The girl who barely passed had a celebration. Why? I was about to find out the answer, and it would break something in me permanently. When I turned 16, my school announced an international academic competition. The winner would receive a full scholarship abroad. For the first time in years, I felt something I had almost forgotten: hope. My teacher came to our house personally. He sat in our living room and told my aunt something I had never heard anyone say about me out loud. "She is one of the brightest students we have ever had," he said. "This scholarship was made for someone like her." I held my breath. I looked at my aunt, and for just 1 second I waited for her to be proud of me. The second the door closed, her face changed, and in that moment, I finally understood what I had been seeing in her eyes all these years. It wasn't anger, it was fear. "Who told you to embarrass this family?" I was frozen. "What? You want people to think you're better than my daughter?" I had never said that. I had never even thought that. But she had. Slap. My head snapped to one side. The sound of it in that quiet house was louder than anything. I looked up and there was Amanda, standing behind her mother, smiling. Then she grabbed my scholarship form and ripped it into pieces right in front of me. "You are not going anywhere." I picked up every single piece off the floor. I sat with them all night, and I made myself a promise. She thinks she won. She hasn't won yet. But what happened next, I did not plan for. A week later, late at night, I heard laughter from Amanda's room. Then I heard my name. I stopped walking. "Imagine her becoming successful before me," Amanda laughed on the phone. "Mom made sure that never happens." Then she laughed again, loudly, comfortably. The laugh of someone who has never been afraid of anything. I stood in that corridor and I finally understood everything. My aunt didn't work hard to destroy me because she hated me. She destroyed me because she was afraid of me. 8 years of humiliation, not from hatred, from fear. And if she was afraid of me, then I had something worth fighting for. I went back to my mat. I lay down. And for the first time in 8 years, I was not waiting for her to be kind. I was not begging for love. I was planning. And my plan was going to be bigger than anything she could tear apart. The next day after school, I went to my teacher. I told him everything. He listened without interrupting once. And when I finished, I saw something on his face that I had not expected. He was furious. Not at me, for me. "You still deserve this," he said. "We are going to fix this." And then he told me his plan. He re-registered me without my aunt's knowledge. Every day after school, while my aunt thought I was coming straight home, I was in this library, studying, in secret, completely alone. Some nights, I slept 3 hours. Some nights, I cried while I read. Some nights, I put my head on the table and told myself I could not do it. And then I picked my head up and I kept reading. Every insult at home, I turned into fuel. Every humiliation became a reason to go back to the library. My aunt thought she was breaking me. She was building me. 3 months later, the principal called me in. He had an envelope on his desk. My legs were shaking so badly I could barely walk to the chair. He looked at me for a long moment. I stopped breathing. And then he smiled. "You won." I burst into tears immediately. Not because of the scholarship, not because I was leaving, but because for the first time in 8 years, someone had looked at me and chosen me. Not despite everything, because of everything. The news spread faster than I could understand it. Within hours, Relatives I had not heard from in years were calling, posting about me, praising me everywhere. And my aunt, she moved faster than anyone. The moment she understood which way this was going, she changed completely. She posted a photo of us together with the caption, "So proud of my daughter. After 8 years on a mat beside the kitchen, after a torn scholarship form, after a slap across my face, now daughter." But then my teacher came to the family gathering. He stood up in front of everyone and he began to speak. He laid out everything: the sleeping mat, the abuse, the years of being treated as a servant in her own family's house, the scholarship form her aunt tore to pieces with her own hands. The room became so quiet you could hear the ceiling fan. My aunt could not look up. For the first time in my entire life, she could not speak, could not perform, could not manage how she was seen. And Amanda, the girl who smiled when my head was slapped sideways, sat there with nowhere to look. The room had seen everything, and for the first time, they had no power over me. Not because I was angry, not because I had won something, but because I finally knew who I was, and no one in that room could take that back. Today, I study abroad on a full scholarship. I walked into that airport alone, with one bag and a piece of paper that said I belonged there, and nobody could tell me otherwise. My apartment is tiny, the furniture doesn't match, some months are hard, but everything inside it is mine. I chose it, I earned it. Nobody gave it to me, and nobody can take it. Sometimes I sit at this desk and I think about that little girl on the cold floor, staring at the ceiling in the dark. I want to tell her, you were never the problem, you were always the answer. People ask me, do you forgive your aunt? Honestly, I still don't know. Maybe forgiveness is not the point. Maybe the point is that I did not let her be the end of my story. The people who work hardest to destroy you, sometimes they accidentally create the strongest version of you. My aunt tried to keep me small. Instead, she built someone she could never control. And I will spend the rest of my life making sure that little girl on the cold floor was worth fighting for. If this story touched you, subscribe to Moonlight Tales by Joy for more emotional stories of betrayal, survival, and unexpected victories. New stories every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Like this video if it moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today, and tell me in the comments what would you have done if you were in her position. I read every single one. Your next story is already waiting.